You walk into the same bank 8 times. Same glass doors. Same marble floor. Same teller behind the counter. Same logo above the entrance. But every time you walk in, something feels different. The first time, they barely notice you. The last time, someone is waiting for you. Nothing about the bank changed. Your number did. And as your business grows, you discover something nobody tells you when you start. The bank doesn't treat every entrepreneur the same. Not because the teller wakes up one morning and decides who deserves respect. Because the bank is constantly calculating two things. How risky are you? And how valuable are you? So let's follow you. From being $4 in the red to having $25 million. Because the way the bank treats you at each level tells you something much bigger about how financial institutions actually see you. Level 1, minus $4. You open your business checking account. You deposit some money. You pay a few bills. Then one morning, you check your phone. Minus $4. You overdraft. It's almost embarrassing. You walk into the bank anyway. You take a number. You sit down. The chair is harder than you remember. People around you are depositing checks, talking about mortgages, moving money. Eventually, the teller calls you over. You explain the $4 overdraft. She looks at the screen, clicks a few buttons, then gives you the answer. It's an overdraft fee. You ask if they can waive it. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But there's no special conversation. No manager comes over. No relationship banker calls you afterward. Just policy. You walk out. The bank hasn't insulted you. It simply hasn't noticed you. At minus $4, you're not a customer they need to win. You're a flag on a screen. Level 2, $200. A few months pass. Your business starts making money. You now have $200 sitting in the account. It's not much, but it's no longer negative. You walk into the same bank. This time, you need something. Maybe you're trying to accept payments from customers. Maybe you need a business debit card. Maybe you're trying to separate your personal finances from your business. You explain what you're building. The teller helps you, but there's still friction. Forms. Questions. Waiting. What's the nature of your business? How long have you been operating? What's your expected monthly volume? You answer everything. The bank is collecting information, but nobody is chasing you. Nobody is calling to ask how the business is going. You're starting to exist inside their system, but you're still tiny. At $200, you're no longer invisible. You're a category. Level 3, $2,000. Now something changes. Your business starts getting customers. Money begins moving through the account. $500, $800, $1,200, then $2,000. One afternoon, your phone rings. Hi, this is David calling from the bank. You don't know David, but David knows you. He can see your business activity. He sees money coming in. He sees money going out. He sees that your account isn't dead. David asks, how's the business going? Are you expecting your deposits to increase? Do you need any additional banking services? You feel something you didn't feel at $200. Recognition. But don't mistake recognition for friendship. The bank has simply noticed that you might become valuable. And potential is something banks pay attention to. At $2,000, you're not just a category anymore. You're a customer with potential. Level 4, $15,000. Your business keeps growing. Now $15,000 is moving through the account. You need capital. Maybe you want to buy inventory, hire someone, purchase equipment, or simply survive a slow month. So you ask the bank, can I get a $10,000 business loan? This time, the answer isn't an automatic no. David asks for your financial statements, your revenue, your expenses, your credit history, your repayment history, your business records, maybe collateral, maybe a personal guarantee. The bank wants evidence. Because you're no longer asking them to believe your story. Your account has started telling the story for you. They can see your cash flow. They can see your patterns. They can see whether you're actually running a business. And this is the first major shift. At $15,000, you're not just promising potential. You're becoming profitable enough to evaluate. Level 5, $80,000. Now your business is producing real money. $80,000 is sitting in your accounts or moving through them. You walk into the branch, but the experience feels different. David knows your name. He knows your company. He knows what you do. He may even know roughly what your business needs before you ask. How's the expansion going? You sit down. Coffee appears. The conversation isn't, can I open a business account? It's, what financing options do you have? That's a completely different relationship. Because your business isn't just holding money anymore. It's generating activity. payments, deposits, loans, card transactions, potential investment, potential treasury services. The bank can make money from the relationship in multiple ways. And now something important happens. You have options. You can compare banks. You can negotiate fees. You can ask about better rates. You can ask what else they can offer. At $80,000, you're no longer just profitable. You're becoming a preferred client. Level 6, $500,000. Now you're operating at another level. $500,000 is moving through your business. You have employees, suppliers, customers, payroll, recurring expenses, maybe multiple accounts. The bank relationship becomes more personal. David isn't calling just to sell you a credit card. He's talking about your business, your cash management, your working capital, your credit line, your payment processing, your plans for the next year. And here's what changes. You stop chasing the bank. The bank starts calling you. There's a financing option I think could work for your business. We have a treasury service that could reduce your processing costs. Would you like to discuss a line of credit? The same institution that once made you wait is now asking for your time. Why? Because you're generating enough economic activity to matter. At $500,000, you're no longer merely profitable. You're an asset. Level 7, $5 million. Now your business has serious scale. $5 million. You're not just running a small operation anymore. You have departments, employees, contracts, assets, suppliers, customers, maybe multiple locations, maybe millions in annual revenue. You walk into the bank. You don't sit in the general waiting area. David is waiting. Maybe a commercial banking team is involved. They know your company. They understand your industry. They know your cash flow cycles. And they aren't simply asking, can we give you a loan? They're asking, what does your business need next? Expansion, acquisition, equipment, working capital, real estate, international operations? The bank wants to be involved because your financial activity is now significant. And suddenly, you realize something strange. The bank doesn't just need to protect itself from you. It needs to protect the relationship with you. Because losing your business now has a real cost. At $5 million, you're no longer just an asset. You're strategically important. Level 8, $25 million. Now you're operating at $25 million. You walk through the same doors, but you don't experience the bank the same way. Someone is waiting for you. Your calls get returned quickly. Meetings are scheduled around your availability. Senior people may become involved. The bank isn't trying to sell you a basic product. It's trying to become part of the infrastructure of your company. Your cash management, your credit facilities, your investments, your treasury operations, your payment systems, your expansion plans. At this level, you have leverage. You can say, another bank offered me better terms. And suddenly, the conversation becomes very different. Because the question is no longer, will this customer qualify? It's, what do we need to do to keep this customer? You started with the bank evaluating you. Now you're evaluating the bank. The power has reversed. At $25 million, you're no longer simply a customer. You're a partner. But look at what just happened. You walked into the same bank 8 times. The building didn't change. The logo didn't change. The banking system didn't change. You changed. At -$4, you're a flag. At $200, you're a category. At $2,000, you're a customer with potential. At $15,000, you're becoming profitable. At $80,000, you're a preferred client. At $500,000, you're an asset. At $5 million, you're strategically important. At $25 million, you're a partner. And that's the uncomfortable lesson. The bank may treat you better when you have $25 million than when you have $4. But you're still the same person. Same ambition, same intelligence, same ideas, same business. The difference is what the institution can see in your numbers. And right now, somewhere in America, an entrepreneur is sitting in a bank. They're holding a business debit card. They're checking their phone. Their account is at -$4. They're frustrated. They're wondering why nobody seems interested in their business. And somewhere else, another entrepreneur walks into the same kind of bank. $25 million is moving through their company. Someone knows their name. Someone is waiting for them. Someone has already prepared the meeting. Same system, different number. And that's the hidden lesson. The bank doesn't change at every level. You do in its eyes.